I want to talk about something I wasn't able to talk about with Berman, and that has to do with my guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. So with IHart and OG Anunoby, I don't know if you guys saw this update here from Ian Begley, but I want to read it to you guys. The Knicks know that OG Anunoby and Isaiah Hartenstein will garner strong interest from opposing teams, but members of the organization felt earlier in the offseason that they were in a good place on both players as they approach free agency. Again, this is according to Ian Begley. Now, Begley said this, and he also mentioned the fact that this is according to people in touch with the team after the season concluded. So let's put this in perspective again. All season long, we basically heard the fact that OG Anunoby and IHart were likely going to re-sign with the Knicks. We knew IHart playing the way he did was going to increase his value. And each and every time, it was increasing his value. We saw it. It was clear. He was blocking shots. His passing game, legitimate. But you know what changed everything? I'll tell you what changed everything. Floater. Floater. When you shoot a floater at that size in the paint, what do you do in the defenses? Breaking them down? Because that's what he was doing. He broke down the defense. He was able to draw people toward him, creating a lane for anybody who wanted it. He opened up the wings for any shooter available. IHart does those things. He's a great offensive rebounder as well, too. Not the level of defender that we see from, of course, a Mitchell Robinson or people like that. But you know what? He doesn't have to be that level of defender because he's still a very good defender and gives you offense. He gives you passing. He does all the little things. So, of course, you know one of the priorities is to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. One of the things that we've been at least noticing is that everybody that we've been hearing around the league has been saying that Isaiah Hartenstein's value is likely going to range to $80 million. So that means that some team is rumored to pay him $20 million a year. Now, I talked about it yesterday. I did a video about it. Oklahoma City Thunder is the only real threat to sign IHart away. They legitimately are the only threat because they have the cap space and the money. They can throw that money. I think they have around 33 or 35 million in available cap room. The only thing is, though, they want to work out a short-term deal for IHart. They want to give him a 2-year deal probably. So maybe 2 years, 20 million. That's going to add up to more money over the over a year-to-year basis for IHart. But when it comes to a long-term contract, the Knicks can offer him 4 years, close to 80 million. Now, clearly, it's not going to be the same. He's going to lose out on some dollars, but he'll have long-term security. He's in a place that he loves, and he knows his impact on this team. He knows he's a starter on this team. When you add all of those things up and all of those factors together, I think it makes sense that IHart stays with New York, and maybe he stays while leaving a little bit of money on the table. Now, if he gets, 2 years and then 20 million each year, and then it adequates out if he had a 4-year to 80 million, but he got around 76. What is he losing? $4 million? He's going to leave the Knicks for $4 million? He's not leaving New York because they didn't give him $4 million. That's what's taking a discount is for. And people are trying to tell me that, well, you know what? The roles might be the same on both teams. I think the role on OKC would be the same in terms of starting, but I don't think that you could say that for a fact that after you had him start, that he was going to have the same impact, because on the Knicks, he has a clear-cut identity and role. He knows what to do each and every time he steps out on the floor. He doesn't have that chemistry or that understanding with OKC. And until he does, until he has that understanding, I don't think it makes sense or it's fair to think that he would leave to go to another team. I think the money is the only aspect that would take him away, but I think it has to be for a longer-term period. If it's 4 years, 80 million, he'll probably leave. But if it's not, and the Knicks are offering close to what he wants, he's going to stay with New York. It's all about long-term security, impact, where he can win, what gives him the best chance of that, and where he can shine. I don't think you can make an argument that the only place he can do all of those things is really the Knicks. He's not shining in OKC with all of those bright lights over there. There's too many stars over there, and they're younger and only going to get better. They're a juggernaut already. So IHart, even though there are reports out there that he could leave, if you're asking me my honest opinion on it, I think he resigns with the Knicks. I think he does so around $76 million, the most the Knicks can pay him. And I think he stays, remains the starting center, and the Knicks look for trades elsewhere with some other players. But going back to this report, before I get to all of your actual comments, I want to go back and actually take a look at that OG Anunoby statement. Ian Begley stated here that the Knicks know that OG Anunoby is basically drawing interest from other teams. Now, when I had Berman on, you heard him say this might be a ploy from CAA to have other teams show interest in OG Anunoby to show James Dolan basically that the OG Anunoby move was a good move. It wasn't a bad move, and he has value all around the league. All these teams want him. So you have to invest in him because if you don't, another team will, and they'll pay him a lot of money, maybe exactly what he wants. So OG Anunoby is a priority to re-sign, maybe a little bit more of a priority than Hartenstein is. After Hartenstein is re-signed and OG Anunoby is re-signed, then you're looking at the draft and you're looking at all of those other players. But that has to be your priorities right now. You have to talk about the team that got you to the dance and making sure you're re-signing the key players that got you there. OG, key player. You have to re-sign him. IHart, key player. You have to re-sign him. With Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, I only can hope and pray that the Knicks can convince Jalen to sign an extension this year. Because if he does that, he's leaving a lot of money on the table and in the process, helping the Knicks each and every year of flexibility. Julius Randle, I don't know if he's going to do that. The first time he did that, we all saw what happened. He left that actual contract on the table in terms of the most money he could sign for, left a lot of money there, and a lot of people don't know if he's going to do that again or if he's going to be willing to do that again. I think there was a reason he re-signed with CAA. We all remember the announcement, right? And again, I told Berman, I don't remember somebody who was only with CAA, leaves CAA, goes to WME Sports, and then rejoins CAA. Berman did a great job explaining the fact, though, that he likely went there with RJ Barrett. And then when RJ left, he was like, well, there's no reason for me to stay here anymore. I'm going to go back to the only place I know, which is CAA. But for me, it has to be about money as well, too. You're trying to tell me that he didn't re-sign with CAA to get a little bit more money? To get paid a little bit more? Because I think that has to go a long way with it. Now, maybe that's with the Knicks. Maybe that's with another team. But this year, this season is going to be a huge season for Julius Randle. It's going to make or break not only the money he gets, but his value, and it's going to determine what his future is going to be. Is it going to be part of the Knicks? Is it going to be elsewhere? It's a very big year for Julius. It's a contract year, if anything, because I don't think he's going to get extended. Ian Begley basically predicted that Randle's not going to get extended this season because of the fact he's dealing with so many injuries and we haven't seen him in the postseason again. When you add those factors up, that doesn't lead to an extension. Not to me. So if he's not going to get extended, he's going to be in a contract year playing for money. We saw what happened last time he was in a contract year, right? Balled out. What's going to happen again? He's going to ball out. But this time, he's going to have superstar Jalen Brunson with him. If you enjoyed these clips from the live show, be sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new episodes or when we go live. Thanks for watching, Knicks fans, and until next time, peace.